July 1st, 2014. The National Hurricane Center has upgraded this tropical depression to a storm. The first named one of the season, they're calling it Arthur. The winds are up to 40 miles an hour, and the central pressure is 1,007 millibars. The infrared imaging is becoming quite strong. Guys, check this out, and I'll show you more of that in the rest of the video. But while we're here in the Gulf Loop, check out the Bay of Campeche. We got to watch it. We haven't had a lot of weather there since Katrina, to be honest with you, and there's still massive amounts of oil leaking there. So if we get a storm forming in this area, it could wash into the marshes and up on the beaches. But these are recent photographs from Bonnie Shoemaker at On Wings of Care, and I'm going to link to her website. She's got the full videos. That's a rather large boat there. And notice the oil and the sheen that's around this thing. And it went on for miles. Check out her video. This thing is still pumping out a lot of oil. This is from the Taylor site there off the coast of New Orleans. Again, these storms coming in, what will that do now that that's built back up? We'll just have to wait and see on this. Looking at the wide Atlantic view, you can see there's a pressure coming off Africa, but it's dry. Now, the moisture from below that coming across the equator would have to tie into that dry air in order for this to develop much. We'll have to watch it, but it is a slow movement from the equator of those storms north. Just check this out on the infrared. Again, you can see how dry that African storm is, but the Bay of Campeche is picking up. Now, notice that the new spaghetti models do not include the storm going across Florida into the Gulf. It's going to go right back up the Gulf Stream and strengthen to a minimum Category 1. Now, by 8 a.m., Friday, this thing is a Cat 1 off the coast of North Carolina. You see that? And if it follows this track, it will pass New York, offshore of New York, sometimes after midnight Friday. Not a good time to be dealing with the situation that late at night, guys. Now, this is going back to the Bay of Campeche, and these are our 1 kilometer lenses on the satellites. Much closer look in the visible. There's a slight rotation there, guys, but there's shear involved. Just don't know. But in the very bottom of the Bay of Campeche, those storms are starting to strengthen. We'll keep an eye on that. Now let's go to this 1 kilometer view directly above our storm. Some amazing images here as we go through this. What you're seeing is from yesterday, then it gets dark, and now into today. You can see the feeder band starting to pull in. Check that out. Right with the air as everything's setting up for this to be a strong storm. Notice also that feeder band that's coming in to Florida right here on the Everglades, and here's the a webcam there, guys. Check it out, and you can see that outer band of feeder clouds in the top left of this screen. You got a breeze there. You see it coming across that seagrass. Those are, I guess, the tourist boats that are parked. Let's look at this and break it down on the radar. Very impressive storm. The East Coast needs to be prepared because it's strengthening fast. It's right in the warmest part of the water, and it's going to track right up that warm Gulf Stream. Don't forget that. That's what gets these things strong. Now, it usually will strengthen up until about Carolina, and then it gets a little cooler water there. But notice this ground radar. As we go through it, you're going to see these spikes, and it's almost like looking at a CAT scan of the different layers. And I'm going to pause it there. They don't pause it, but I'm going to stop it here and look at the color code to the right of the height and the density of the storm. That's a lot of energy. It's already starting to start 2 main bands. Notice coming out of the red center to the left and right. It wants to build from there. And at this elevation, it's starting to pull into that right north quadrant. That's all the indicators are there for this to be very strong. You guys up in North Carolina, you do not need to hang around there. It's beautiful right now, and I'll show you a webcam from there. First, let's look at Florida. You can see that it's windy, cloudy. This area should not get hit that hard. This is Fort Lauderdale area, but as you move, the storm's turning and moving north. So from there, you're going to go up to South Carolina to North Carolina. You'll see a difference. Now, this is South Carolina in the Myrtle Beach area. It's slightly cloudy, but it's sunny. Here in North Carolina, very sunny. It will fool you. See the people there. These are live as I'm doing the video. Guys, in North Carolina, this can be a Cat 1 hurricane plus in 48 hours. Minimum Cat 1, they're saying, and depends on how much it strengthens. Will it stay there? Think about gas and traffic jams on the hurricane evacuation routes. In other words, you got 48 hours now. Is your gas full in your car or your truck if you're vacationing there or if you live there? You know that a lot of those areas are flood prone. Remember Hurricane Sandy, as it went up that coast? Again, it's going to pass by New York late Friday night into the early morning hours while it's still dark. But guys, it looks beautiful there, and it's very deceiving if you are there on the Carolina beaches. That's going to change rapidly, and you're not going to have a lot of time to prepare. Think about getting out of there. You can always come back after the storm. It's a heads up. Be safe.